Welcome back, everybody, to another XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox community, and what a week it has been. It's always a good week when you get to play games, when you get to sit down with your friends, your brohemes and brosivs, and just enjoy gaming. Now, you guys got to sit down, I guess before we start Minecraft, we have a server, and actually, that's what I was going to say anyways. I don't know why I'm talking in circles here. Minecraft. We have our own server. How do you find the Minecraft server, Jordan? We have a realm.
Yep, so just go to our Discord under the Forums tab. It's called XoneBros Official Minecraft Server. All the way at the very top just gives you instructions on how to join. So you don't need to send invites or friend people anymore. There's basically a code that you type in, and you're able to join.
Yep.
And once you join once, you're joined always everywhere across the entire Minecraft spectrum of wherever you're at.
That's
Nintendo,
cool. Crossplay.
PC, yeah, everywhere.
That's a huge improvement.
Yeah, it's about the only one they've done.
That used to not be the case. Yeah, I know. I saw some text going back and forth this week, and we talked a little bit about it last week. The Realms is not the best system.
No, it's not. And it's still not after a week.
Oh,
yeah,
it's stupid.
So last week I was complaining about how you pay for a service and have virtually no customization over that server when basically it's I don't know other server. So there's two ways you can do a server. You can create a home server like at your house with a computer or whatever and have your friends log in. You guys play by your own rules. We've done that in the past. It works fine. There is some frustration with that because it's you having to take care of everything.
And you have to leave a computer on.
Yeah. And then there's third-party websites that do it for you, which basically took the frustration of always having to have a server online, having to deal with the hardware side of it. Basically, you pay a X amount of dollars to a third-party website. They host a server for you, and they give you customization of that server, and you go from there. Minecraft does that, but theirs is just terrible. So, and I don't mean this in any bad way. I want the people over at Mojang.
What happened?
So originally what happened is you basically have no customization over your server. And the way you can customize your server, it's not just like you go in and say, hey, we want health, or for an example, we want, no monsters. Like, you can't just do that. You have to go through a huge roundabout way to make any changes and do whatever you want. And I'm just using that as an example. We don't want no health to our monsters, but just to make basic changes is a nightmare.
Yeah.
And just toggle switch. And what's funny is they have toggle switches. They just don't do anything.
They never, it's like the system never reads them.
Yeah. And it never saves. And the only way to save it is to create the world, save it, and then back it up and re-upload. It's a mess, right? And then this week, on top of that, so we finally got all that sorted out, the server on the settings the way we want it, right? So we worked through that nightmare. And then this week, Minecraft came out with an update. You're like, oh, great. I'll go update the server.
Stuff's going to be fixed.
No, Jordan, you can't update the server. It's all on their end. So what you have to do is you have to log in, update your client, which is fine, and then log into the server as the owner, and then the server will be like, oh, the owner has an updated client. Let me update the server. And then you get a big message that says, okay, we know you're updated. Come back in 48 hours. And you're like...
That's like propagate?
You're like, what? Like, it's just... It's simple. Let me give you a simple solution. And people are going to your mind's going to be blown if you've never created or used other third-party hosting software before. Generally, in the real world, they give you a button that says update to latest patch.
Like on another server.
And you choose when you want to do that. So let's say Minecraft servers are getting hammered or whatever, right?
Yeah.
We don't want to update today. We're fine with the old patch. We'll update this weekend when no one's on. Or we'll update other server hosting websites give you actually specific times you can update. You can schedule it.
Yeah.
Hey, how about that? You know? Minecraft doesn't allow you to do that. So the server was randomly down here and there throughout the week. We can't control it. So
it must be something. There must be a reason that they have that, and I bet you it's because they have so many different versions of Minecraft. I bet you it's just old.
So
it's old.
that's why that one button would solve everything. Because I would choose what version I'd want to play.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's something on their side, and they might be trying to merge everything. I don't know.
Third-party websites seem to do it just fine for
and they don't have billions of dollars.
Yeah,
yeah. That's the whole thing about this.
That's the argument. Is
if you have $1 billion, there shouldn't be problems.
Yeah, when everybody else.
Yeah, but don't you think there's probably something, because how many? There's what? Java version, Bedrock version, the Xbox version.
It's all Bedrock.
There's a mobile version.
All Bedrock.
Now it's all Bedrock.
Yeah. It's Bedrock or Java. There's two versions.
Sure.
Yeah. And
Java's the old version, right?
I agree with you, but why can third-party hosting websites do it, but the actual developer cannot?
If you were on PC, could you do it on a third-party website?
So we have my brother-in-law's on PC. He said the first day it started happening, it was weird, but day 2 he was able to get in, whereas everybody else on console was not able to get in.
So maybe that's the issue.
It was being weird.
How it
was being weird.
Up console,
but it's just
PC.
it's just what's the frustrating part to me is it's not that it sucks, right? It's that I pay for it to suck when other websites do it so much better for the same price. You know what I mean? Like everything's fine, everything's good. It's easy. It's easier through the Realm system, but I was almost thinking like, guys, we should just go do one of the other third-party websites and have them host the server for us, because it'll just be we'll have more control.
Jordan, you're a charitable man.
Yeah.
Jordan gives 50% of his money, all of his income, to charity.
Yeah.
Except when she's not working, he gives it to Destiny.
No, it's just, if Mojang hears this podcast, I've been having a ton of fun, and a lot of people have been having a ton of fun in the Realm. I've just got a chicken farm. It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
And relaxing.
Chickadee farm.
Yeah. But at least assign like 1 or 2 guys to the server department.
To the Realm,
and just have them revamp it. Just make this robust system that players can use. I mean, people will pay. It's only $7, so it's not like it's super expensive, right? People will pay to have that custom experience.
Custom experience.
The one thing I had to laugh at, though, is I was reading some forums, because I basically typed into Google, does Minecraft Realms have an update server button? Right? Mm-hmm. And they don't. Right, but
spoiler alert.
Yeah, they don't. I found a forum that was basically saying, "Oh, they update it from their end to," and this is not the actual developer Mojang. This is just like random people in forums talking. They were saying one reason they might update it on their end is to, like, if someone were to find an exploit, they can patch everything. And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't matter when you have your own server, because the point of your own server is to do what you want.
Yeah.
And your server doesn't hurt everybody else's server.
Yeah, that's why you have your own. Yeah,
that's why you have your own. Like, it's the point of having your own server is to be able to do all these features, which it's just not there yet. Maybe it will be in the future.
Okay, so the Realm's functionality, as far as the administrative aspect, is not the greatest. But how is the Realm? What have you guys done in there? Is the building taking off? What's going on?
Yeah, I don't think there's any duping yet.
No.
I have actually been keeping the dates. I call it PD. Pre-dupe. So
there's pre-dupe.
We're 7 or no, we're
BD. Before dupe, after dupe.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, BD. We'll do BD before dupe. So right now we're 6 BD.
6 BD. Okay.
Yeah. 6 days BD.
6 day BD.
Yeah,
because once dupe comes, everything changes. It's like the invention of electricity.
So yeah,
it actually kind of is. You use a lot of redstone for duping.
Everything changes.
So no one's, to my knowledge, no one's had any duping, but it's been fun. It's actually been fun. I've just been relaxing, building a road.
Ah, nice.
You know,
yeah.
I like I said, I got my chicken farm today.
I feel some Minecraft vibes.
One thing I want to say,
how many people are in the Realm? Sorry to interrupt you there. Continue. I apologize.
I don't know because people jump in and out.
Okay.
But we did make a welcome platform where everybody will spawn for the first time. There's beds that you can sleep in, so you got a spawn point. There is chests and stuff. A few other people, I don't know who they were, but a few other people put some other like welcome chests there that you can grab some stuff out of.
I like it.
Someone did put up a sign, and I thought this was a cool idea, so thank you to whoever did this. When you first jump in, there's a sign that says write your name on a sign and post it on the wall behind you. That's a cool idea. So I still need to go put my name on there. It's like the wall of awesomeness.
Everyone
I have no idea how to get there, to be honest.
Yeah, Mark.
I went out.
Your spawn point, you got lost?
No, I just went out into the middle of the ocean, and I'm building out there. I went.
We called it pulling a China.
Pulling a China.
Because he's making his own artificial island and then just claiming it as his own land.
I don't know where I am. I don't know how to get back.
So again, tell players how to get back in, how to get into this server again.
So it's really easy.
For everybody listening.
All you do is there's a 5-step process on the Discord forum.
It's a 5-step process. So simple.
But basically, you go to join a realm, and there will be a button to type in a code. You then type in that code. I don't have that code with me right now, but it is on Discord. Just copy and paste it into that join or that add a code, join a code section of join a realm, and then you'll automatically be thrown in. There's no restrictions or anything like that.
Now, you don't have to add people as friends manually because that's what we used to.
You don't have to add people as friends manually. So that part is nice. You can put out a public code. That public code is on our Discord in the forums under Community Minecraft server, official Community Minecraft server. There's even a little 5-step process. Follow it step by step. I promise you'll get in.
Yeah, Super Shocker has a question. He just dropped a Super Shocker super chat for $6.69. I like it, Super Shocker. Is there any special version of Minecraft you need to download on the Switch?
As far as I know, no. Okay. Because it's all Bedrock Edition. I believe when you log into the Switch, you actually sign into your Xbox account. So as long as you type in as long as you type in that code from whatever platform you're on, it will let you in. Now,
you have to have the latest edition if there's updates. If you downloaded Minecraft a year ago on your Switch, just make sure that it's updated.
Yeah. And it's account based. So if you type that code in on your Xbox account, but then you sign into your Minecraft on your PC, the realm will still be there because it's all tied to whatever account is tied to your Minecraft Bedrock Edition.
Yeah.
I believe someone in Discord was going to see if it worked on the Java edition. I don't think it will, but he was going to try it just to see if there's a little cross thing there. But anyway.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, come join us. Again, head over to Discord, XoneBros.com/Discord, or in YouTube, Apple, wherever you're listening to us. The link is in the description below. So come join us. Check out the Minecraft realm. For those of you that missed the first iteration of the realm, it was amazing. It was awesome. So we're just getting in on the foundation on XoneBros Realm 2.0.
Yeah, there was a lot of artwork out there and everything.
Yeah, a lot of that was AD, right? After dupe.
After dupe, yeah.
After dupe, right now,
everybody's like trying to get diamonds and stuff right now.
Well, Mark made me laugh because what did you say the other day? You're like, duping was nice.
Yeah, it is. It's very, because then you don't have to sit there and you can actually be creative. And we don't do creative mode. This is like the real deal. I mean, I don't know how many times my island has blown up by those green penis guys running around.
I would also like a quick thank you to everybody who's on the realm. There's kind of this universal
love.
Yeah. Well, there's these unspoken rules. Like if someone goes to bed, everyone else goes to bed, so we can skip the night and go to no one has been. It's just there's
so there is a max. Everybody, there's a max of 12 at a time.
Well, so I think how it works is there's 10 slots, but there's always a slot for the owner.
Oh, so there's 9 slots.
No, I think it's 10 plus 1.
And then you
plus the owner.
Okay. So 10
at
slots
one time.
That's at one time. So there's 200 people can be in the realm, but it's limited to 10 slots. And can I just say that's also a frustration?
Why can't we have more?
Yeah.
It's not like it's demanding of a game, but I guess if you had everybody, I don't know. That's probably something on their end. They don't want to hammer their servers. But
I don't know. We're looking at games that hold hundreds of people on one server.
Warzone does it every 30 seconds, right?
Yeah, I don't know what century we live in, but it would be nice to have more than 10
But
people.
see, this is my point. Just assign 2 guys. Just 2 guys and have
Frank
them
and Gil.
Yeah, and just have them do the servers. Just revamp have them do the servers. Anyway.
Big news this week. Microsoft Xbox basically bitch slapped Sony all over the place, legally in Brazil, actually.
Wow.
They whipped it out and said, not today, Sony, not today. So the news story over at purexbox.com. There was an Xbox-related document filed by Brazil's Administrative Council for Economic Defense where Xbox claims that
wow, yeah, that sounds like a really important job.
That's like when you can choose your own title.
There are comments made by Microsoft related to the impending acquisition of Activision Blizzard. The company stating that Sony's concern over potential exclusive content. So Sony was concerned about the act. They filed like, hey, we have a concern on this Activision purchase. And Microsoft called it incoherent. Here's what they said. Here's the quote from Microsoft. Considering that exclusivity strategies have been at the core of Sony's strategy to strengthen its presence in the games industry, and that Sony is a leader in the distribution of digital games, Sony's concern with possible exclusivity of Activision's content is incoherent to say the least. Now, you know what we call that? That's just a smackdown right there.
Okay,
That's a legal smackdown.
Smack.
Microsoft continues, it only reveals once again a fear about an innovative business model that offers high quality content at low cost to gamers, threatening a leadership that has been forged from a device centric and exclusivity focused strategy over the years. That translation is saying Sony's old.
Sony doesn't want us to adapt.
Doesn't want
the world to adapt to. I mean, basically, what that says to me is, we're
changing everything.
We're changing everything, and it's a huge benefit to our consumers, and they want to stop that.
Yeah, and they finally they say, indeed, Microsoft's ability to continue expanding Game Pass has been obstructed by Sony's desire to inhibit such growth. Sony pays for quote-unquote blocking rights to prevent developers from adding content to Game Pass and other competing subscription services. And that is how you take the gloves off in an international corporate battle.
In Brazil. Economic ring. The octagon of economics.
No, I did, but just before the show, I read an article by Paul Tassi over at Forbes. He did a good article about it. But yeah, it talks about Sony is accusing this deal of being anti-competitive and then that's why Microsoft said, what are you talking about? You literally pay people to stay off of Game Pass.
You pay people.
Which, don't get me wrong, I mean...
No, that's smart.
And Paul Tassi mentions this in the article. Sony's afraid of Game Pass because of its success, right? They're trying to sabotage this deal. Because if this deal goes through, it only benefits Game Pass, right?
Sure.
So, anyway. I mean, I get why Sony is trying to stop it.
No, I don't blame Sony.
I just don't think they will stop it. Yeah, I mean...
It's just there's a shift happening, and it's seismic, and we're a part of it, and it's exciting and fun. But any thoughts, spicy comments on this smackdown?
I gave my thoughts already.
Any additional? Any closing? I'm going to give you the last word on this topic.
That's funny. I know that whole thing is funny.
Oh,
like you read it, and then they're like, well. It's like somebody's tattletelling on somebody, and then that somebody's like, well, he's been doing it this whole time.
It's like,
Yeah,
it's like the robber who gets caught for stealing something, and then turns to the guy behind him and says, well, he's stealing something too.
Yeah. It's actually pretty funny. Just the whole, and that was, I mean, rarely do you see Microsoft take gloves off, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't publicly, like this is in
Brazil.
In Brazil in legalese documents,
but it really was just like, because Microsoft is usually, they're usually either stay away or they meme it up. They're like laughable things.
Yeah,
but that's a smack. That's like, well,
that lawyer got promoted.
That lawyer had a bad day.
It's kind of funny.
But as far as right now, I don't believe Sony has responded to those accusations. So those are just accusations, right? But I'm sure. I mean,
Sony's response will probably be, well, they're fat. They're stupid.
So those are just accusations. But I mean, it's one of those things that, I mean, we know people are paying for exclusive rights. It's not anything new.
Yeah.
It's just funny when you say, hey, you can't do that, but they're doing it.
Yeah.
We're going to do it anyways.
But again, I don't blame Sony for trying to not make the deal go through because they don't want to see the deal go through, right? Because that's a huge benefit to Game Pass and Xbox.
I mean, it's all strategy and competition and whatnot. THQ Nordic had an event this week, and there was quite a lot at that event. Jordan, let's run through it real quick. Alone in the Dark is getting reimagined for Xbox Series X and S. Tell us what we can expect from Alone in the Dark.
It's a scary game.
It's where you're alone.
I've never played the original one.
In the dark.
And it looks scary. Let me just set the scene for you if you're listening.
Oh,
the game starts with
creepy.
a doll being hung from a bedroom.
By this little girl. That doesn't look creepy, but then there's more dolls being hung.
Then this little girl, viewer discretion advised, puts a noose over her neck and wears it as a necklace. She doesn't do anything bad. She just wears it as a necklace, but it's still weird. It's a scary game.
Little girls always scare me.
Yeah, especially when they do that and then like stare at you. So anyway, I've never played the original.
Especially when you wake up in the middle of the night and it's pitch black, and then you see this light in the hallway,
like
and you
The
walk
Shining.
out, and you walk out there, and there's a little girl in a white dress holding a doll, and she's going la 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 la
Yeah.
la.
Yeah, I've never played the original, but it looks scary. So scary game enthusiasts, which it's hard for me to pick up a scary game. One of the only scary games I play is Resident Evil, and some people don't even think that's scary, but it's scary to me. So this game, I don't know if I'll pick it up or not.
It definitely looks like a psychological thriller.
Let me say this about THQ Nordic's event.
Hey, can we rewind that real quick? That's totally the monsters from Stranger Things.
The Demogorgon or whatever's?
Yeah, the hive mind. What are those? The mini creatures?
I don't know.
Called? Watch, I'll show you. We'll pause it right. Wait, I'll show you.
Sorry,
Here it comes. We're watching all these monsters ready. He's about to battle right there. That one.
Yeah.
Look at the face. Like it all opens up into teeth. Who copied who? This came out before Stranger Things, probably.
Yeah, but did the original
But
have
the original probably didn't look like this. They were like,
that fidelity?
oh, yeah, the artist was like, oh, I like
So-
that. We're going back.
Anyway, let me say one thing about the THQ Nordic event. So
Go.
it was a decent event. It was about an hour-ish, hour and a half. They showed all their games coming out. There was no game that really like super stood out to me, but I give them credit. Like they got some interesting games coming that I'm curious. Like like I said, like I'm curious. I can't even talk.
It's okay.
You're that curious.
I know.
Can't either.
I'm interested to see how some of these games turn out. There's not one that like really blew me away, but I'm interested to see how they play out.
You heard it here
if
first.
they will be, kind of hidden gems.
Yeah.
Like let's talk about the next one.
Recreation.
Recreation. This is from some of the developers that did Burnout. Now get
Burnout
this.
was one of my favorite games.
Yeah, get this.
I love that game.
The way they're describing it is a in real time open world, play with your friends, race and create.
What do they mean in real time?
So you're doing it now.
What does it mean?
But every game could say that in real time.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
know,
I'm
and
curious.
that's one of those
What
things
does
where
that
I'm like,
mean?
wow, this could be super interesting. How does it work? Because they didn't. I mean, there may be articles that dived a little bit deeper into it. I just kind of watched it and came
that's
to the
cool.
show tonight. But
So you can drive and throw obstacles up for your opponents? Is that what this is gonna be?
no, because it's open world. So it talked about building courses with your friends, playing, racing, and doing it all in real time. So I don't know if you're in this open world and only your friends can come into the game, and that's how you can do it in real time, or if it's a public lobby where there's a bunch of different people in there that are just building random stuff. I can see how that can get a little trolly though.
Yeah, I want to see gameplay. Do they show gameplay or no?
They just show a little bit of racing and stuff. I mean, it's definitely going to be an arcade racer.
Sure.
But it's games like this. Like I'm not super blown away, but I'm like, hey, this could be a fun
Piques
little
your
yeah. Like
curiosity.
this, I hope all these games are good because then we get more good games to play.
They're doing new stuff
But
here for you.
it seems interesting. So recreation.
There you go. THQ Nordic. That looks cool.
So it's an announcement trailer. So we probably won't see this for a couple of years, right? I assume they didn't give any dates or anything. And the footage kind of looks very almost alpha-y.
Maybe that's the charm.
Yeah, this looks like in-game preview.
This looks good.
Yeah.
That looks actually really good. We're watching
But I still don't
like Hot Wheels style racing.
But I still don't get it because
So I wonder if it's going to be like a Trackmania with your friends type of thing. Because in Trackmania, can't you customize your own courses as well?
Yeah.
But this is going to be. They talked about. I was
see,
reading.
it looks like someone else is coming along.
Yeah, and then someone's
look at-
doing that. Yeah, so at the end of the trailer, it shows someone putting down a ramp, and then it shows another perspective of a car going off it. So that's what I'm wondering. How is this building in real time going to work? Is it going to be in public lobbies? Is it going to be only with friends? Is it,
My mind is blown.
Yeah, it seems interesting. How is it going to play out?
Yeah, the other one that I want to talk about is Gothic. We watched this before the show, actually, and we made fun of it a little bit because it seemed like a mine simulator or something.
Well, so this is a remake of a game.
The original.
There are a lot of games that I haven't played.
Well, the original Gothic is did it come out in like 2000, 2001? Anyway, it's a action RPG game.
Okay.
So that's what this will be. The trailer just shows, what'd you call it, speed running through a mine, and then at the end, people get eaten by spiders. And David said they dug too deep.
They dug too deep, like Helm's Deep.
I don't think it was Helm's Deep.
Maybe this is like a prequel to Helm's Deep.
No, Helm's Deep is where they all decided to turtle up.
Yeah.
And then that's when Gandalf came over the hill.
The Misty Mountains.
Wait,
you're right. Yeah,
I think it's the Misty Mountains.
The Misty Mountains where they're in the dwarf.
Yeah, that's when they go underneath.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And then they hear the drums. And then he fights the Balrog.
Balrog.
No. That's the Mines of Moria.
Mines of Moria. That's where they dug too deep.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mines of Moria.
Sorry. I thought we were talking about the dwarves, how they got greedy with the treasure and the dragon came. And,
No, I don't
guess
care
that
about
wouldn't
that
be
one.
digging.
That was what's Smoggle or whatever.
Smaug.
Smaug.
Run, you fools.
Run, you fools.
I believe it's Fly, you fools.
Oh, that's right. That's
Fly.
right. Fly, you fools. Thank you, Jordan.
You fools.
You're welcome.
Wow, Jordan.
It's one of my favorite books and movies,
do you
and
know
Amazon
that?
is going to ruin it, and I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, are they legit going to ruin it? You think?
I don't know.
100%.
I
They have done a very poor job on many things.
I really, really, really hope it's the greatest show I've ever seen, but I am legitimately afraid to watch it, and I don't think I am going to watch it because all the press and I know I shouldn't listen to press and media because it's the same with like games being reviewed, and I should just watch it for myself. But I don't know. The track record doesn't seem very good.
So they're not hiding the ball, though. I think that's why this one's really has angered fans, is because they're not hiding the fact that they're not following the lore that was set up in J.R. Tolkien's world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that I think is what players are mad
it's
at,
going to be
obviously.
interesting. I mean, look what
Well, not
happened to
players,
Mark with
but
Wheel of Time.
gamers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's...
Just respect the source material.
do you know what's funny about that?
You can even make some like artistic choices, but you can't change core lore.
Peter Jackson did it with the original trilogy. He made changes to translate it better to screen while being very respectful of the source material. That's why it's one of the greatest trilogies ever made.
Amen.
Fight me to the death. I'll argue that all day long.
Yeah. They did the same thing with Back to the Future. They remained true to the lore.
What are you talking
What?
about?
Go ahead.
Of time travel?
They also did the same thing with the Expendables.
What?
They remained true to the lore. They were the direct.
I'm really.
I guess to the movie script. They stayed true to the movie
No,
script that they
Sylvester
wrote.
Stallone in Expendables. I saw an interview and he's like, "Yeah, I just really wanted to stay true to the lore." of
There is
Expendables.
no lore in Expendables. There is explosions.
Yeah, there's one more movie.
What are you talking about?
Fast and Furious. They remained really true to the lore in Fast and Furious.
of cars.
It's all about family.
It's all about family. It's all about family. You know?
For those of you that didn't see, you should have seen mine and Mark's face when David said back to it. It was like,
Yeah, Back to the Future.
it was like, what? Because I was trying to think like when they went back to the West, like
No, just
cowboys.
No, they just remained true to the lore, man.
It's about family.
No, anyway.
Spicy was going to
Yeah,
go
go
off
ahead,
on
sorry.
Wheel of Time real quick.
I'll
Yeah.
try not to. But what bugs me is they have like Amazon commercials and stuff up here, wherever article they come out and say the fans love this show. Like you can say new people, new
Fans of
new
the show
viewers.
love the show.
Yeah, but they're going out and attacking me for not liking it because it's stupid. And other fans, you go read the reviews on Wheel of Time, and there's two groups of people. That, well, maybe there's more. I don't know.
Even you, David, didn't you say like you were with it for a while and then it was just like, wow, they just went a different direction with everything?
Those that have read the books dislike the show.
There's two kinds of people.
Pretty
in this
clear. I mean, you may have outlanders, outliers, but those who are fans of the book strongly dislike Wheel of Time, the production.
So I think the issue there is if
So hold on. Why would Amazon come out and say fans of the books love this show? Why do they go out and say that? It's not true. They have the reviews on their own website.
Technically, it's true. Fans of the show.
Like two of them?
Yeah, you just need one.
Yeah.
No,
Well, you just need two. Yeah,
I guess that's.
to throw
Oh,
that
you know
S,
what? You're right.
To throw that S on there.
Yeah, you're right. A fan of the show loves.
But I think there's a difference because, so for instance, there was a discussion in our Discord server, the Terminal List with Chris Pratt came out on Amazon, and it is so good.
Yeah.
But people who had read the book were like, "Oh, they changed some things that I didn't like."
A guy that I work with, he had just finished the book because it's a series, right? He had just finished the book, and then the next day watched the show, and he didn't like the show at all because he was like they changed, they did things differently. And he was like he told me, he was like, if I didn't read the book, I'd probably like the show because from an entertainment perspective, like it was good.
As
but
someone who never read the book,
I've never read the book either, and I enjoyed it.
I think it's one of the most entertaining series that has come out in a while, in a hot minute. It kept you going. It was really good.
Dieter Pinklage in chat, it is violent. It is.
Yes,
yeah,
it makes me want to go back and read the books, and so I wonder. So, but my question here is this: so in that case, in that situation, where you have people who read the book, and then people who didn't read the book, but who didn't read the book, like love the show. I think where you get in trouble is Wheel of Time, where people who didn't read the book, I don't get this sense that they love Wheel of Time. Like some people do. In fact, even some people in our community do. But it's not this like overwhelming.
It's like a low budget Xena Warrior Princess.
Yeah.
Which was already low budget to begin with.
I'll give you another example. Game of Thrones, they didn't stick with everything.
Well, in their defense,
I read the books, and I enjoyed the show as well. So you can have both and make changes. It's when you make changes that fans criticize, and then you criticize the fans for criticizing you for making the changes from the original lore.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue.
Yeah. And to be fair with Game of Thrones, they didn't really know the ending.
No, but even throughout, I mean, they just remove entire plot lines in that. But it's
throw enough nudity in it too. You're going to get a whole bunch of people liking it.
So good,
you know.
Yeah, you do have the Tata factor.
You kind of have to wait.
It's like when you're playing a video game. It's like picking up a mushroom or something in Mario, and it just gives you a little boost.
Yeah,
a couple bonus points on reviews there.
No, but I'm like legitimately afraid to watch the new Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, a lot of people are,
because I love that story. I just recently re-listened.
It does look
to
like
all the books.
It does look like it's high budget. So it does look like it's not going to be like from the things. It's like, oh, okay.
I don't know though.
High budget.
High budget doesn't mean much to me anymore. Because you can take a lot of money and then just screw it up. Like some show, like what Halo was $100 million for one season.
$10 million an episode.
Yeah, that's a lot of money to screw up.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say screw up, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah, by the end,
they could have done better on some of the CGI.
Did we ever recap Halo? By the way, I can't remember.
Well, I basically said it's not my favorite show.
Oh, okay.
But it's also not the worst show I've ever seen. If you like the TV series, that's awesome and that's great. I mean, everybody likes what they like. I mean, there's stuff that I like that David hates, right? But the show, I wasn't a fan of where they went with the story, and there was a few things that I think they sacrificed in continuity to have a quote unquote cool shot.
Yeah.
You know, for example,
an ass shot.
Yeah. By the way,
Master Cheeks.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole different story. But just quick little thing. I know it's not anything big, but I think continuity it ties a story together, right? So, for example, when the literal leaders of the Covenant are 2 feet in front of you and you decide not to shoot them, like they're there just for like a cool shot, you know, so Master Chief can fight and they can be in the background. It's like, well, why didn't you just turn around and shoot them? You know?
I don't know.
Seems
like you're armchair quarterbacking Master Chiefs.
Or they were in this grave danger. Well, and it's a shame because that was one of the coolest fights. But they're in this grave danger. They're all going to die. But, oh, shoot, wait a minute. There's a condor that just brought in all the bullets. or the guns and just save the day. And it's like, well, why didn't we just start out with that? You know, like if I was going into battle, I wouldn't be like, all right, guys, hold on. Let's use sticks to start out, and then we'll pull out our guns. You know, like, I mean, I'm going to go, you know.
Or basically have the Eagles just fly Frodo.
Yeah. Hey, that's...
Yeah,
there's a reason.
Reasons. I know
okay?
it's in the books.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
There's reasons.
I just wanted to jab you.
Yeah, there's
Jordan
reasons.
got hot. Look at that. Jordan turned on a dime.
I know.
There's, you know,
There's
they
a
have
lot of political stuff.
They have J.R.R. Tolkien continuity. There's you know,
there is. But they weren't. It wasn't reflected in the movies.
No, okay. I will give you that. Maybe in the extended editions, I think they talk a little bit more about it. But anyway, I don't want to talk about it.
No, continuity is very, very important because the purpose. I'm going to get on a little bit.
Go ahead.
The purpose of shows and movies and even games and everything is to immerse the viewer into your story.
Yeah.
You want to capture them. Your whole goal is to get them immersed and to tell your story. When you are doing things that pull people out of that story for any reason that's not part of, like, for any reason, really, I think you're doing an injustice to the story itself. In Wheel of Time, there's many, many weird things that make you go, that's not supposed to happen. That it's not supposed to be like, why is that person doing that? Why are these person, and you pull yourself out of the story. It's like shocking. That's the problem with a lot of storytellers, with writers, with a whole bunch of stuff going on in Hollywood right now. They do not think like that. They think, a lot of them are thinking for other reasons, other intent of making a story. And that's the problem with a lot of things going on, is the fact that you can't, your goal isn't immersing people in your story. Your goal is, you have agendas, you have whatever it is that will just pull people out of the story itself. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Makes total sense, yes.
Yeah. And so when your goal is not to immerse the story, then your goal is, you shouldn't be making these stories. You shouldn't be standing on the heads of giants that have made these stories like J.R. Tolkien that did such a good job. You should not be in control of what's happening to the story.
Yeah, he's already set the framework that would drive
Star
it.
Wars
That would
and all
drive
that
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, same with Star Wars. The framework was set there. It should drive itself.
The people are, like I've said this on the show a couple months ago, people are taking these stories, they're standing on the heads of giants and taking a dump all over it. And it's really, really frustrating to me.
Yeah.
And that's why Jordan's like, really,
That's why I appreciate the Expendables.
Speaking of
They
Star
did not
Wars,
do that.
Speaking of Star Wars, I met Ray actually.
Did you?
Yeah, helped her out.
Oh, at Disneyland?
Oh yeah.
What'd you do?
I didn't really. I mean, I was standing right in front of her. She came up as a hologram. She said she needed my help, and I said, "I'll help."
I'll help.
wait, what?
I'll
Yeah.
answer the call.
No, really, it's
Wow.
legit. Yeah. She said, "Hey, I need your help," and I said, "You got it." I helped
got
her
it,
out.
Ray.
Yeah. Me and Ray are close.
You got it.
Yeah. Me and Ray are close.
You didn't need a training montage to become a master of the Force. Neither do I.
Well, I like how she has her montage in the third one.
Well, and I think that's, so going back to the Lord of the Rings, I think that's, you can see the difference between Peter Jackson's original trilogy. His goal was not any agendas. His goal was not anything but, I mean, he had many statements. His goal was to immerse the viewer into this great world and this great story.
To make the world that everybody had read about come alive.
Yeah, he
visually.
has a really famous quote that says, "It's not our job to interpret the story or not interpret it. It's not our job to push our own politics, ideals, basically in respect of the author, we tell their story, right?"
Yeah.
And
That
then
doesn't exist anymore.
I think the
That
producers
mindset.
of the new Lord of the Rings said, "We're so glad that we can."
Interpret this our own way.
Yeah, basically like broaden the scope of people that will enjoy or it was something weird. It was basically like, I'm glad we can change the story so everybody will like it. And it was like, well, by changing the story, you're going to alienate
everybody,
the core audience. And then
pause. Everybody did like it before.
Yeah, and it comes down to respecting the source material, and you don't have that very much
I'm
anymore.
going to use that, David, every time someone says that. Like, respect the source material. Oh, yeah, like Blade.
Yeah, like,
Just like throw something out there.
just throw that. You're like
Back to the Future.
Yeah, like Rocky 1.
Which, by the way, I'm going to say I actually watched the Blade trilogy this week.
Oh, it's so good.
Those movies are great.
It's so good. That Charger.
Where's Wesley Snipes?
Where is
we
he?
We need him.
We need him to come back, baby.
Yeah, where is he?
That's true. What
Where's
has
he
he
been?
been doing?
Yeah, he was great.
We need Wesley. I'm going to make a shirt that says we need Wesley.
We need Wesley. And on the back it says Snipes.
Man.
Yes. All right, let's talk. So THQ, go check out all the trailers. Xbox, they're all on the Xbox channel. A ton of them drop. See what you like there. We talked about the ones that really stood out to us. But Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, yeah. That's
delayed.
That's unfortunate.
Until February 10th. I actually don't mind it because it's not that far. What is it, 3 months? A 3-month delay?
Yeah, like I don't mind the delay, but I'm so excited to get in there and learn some magic, go to potions class.
Yeah, I sat down with my wife and was like, hey, we're going to play this game together.
Yeah,
and she rolled her eyes and she was like, are we? And then I showed her it and she was like, yes, I want this game. And I was like, yes, see?
Yeah, they came out, they made a tweet on Twitter basically just saying that they're excited for everybody to play, but we're just going to have to wait a little bit longer. They gave a date, February 10th, so hopefully this is a solid date.
Solid, baby.
They just wanted a little bit more time, which is fine. Take as much time as you need. I can't say I'm happy that they're taking time to fix it. I'm disappointed because I just really want to play it, you know?
It looks
so
cool.
good.
To be fair, this is delay number 1.
2.
Or delay number 2, yeah. I mean, you said it's only a 3-month delay. In 3 months, they're going to delay it again, probably. Am I a pessimist now?
Well, maybe, and that'll be delay number 3.
I think a little bit.
I think I'm. Wow.
But it's 2022. Everyone is.
Oh, that's okay. That's fair.
Like, look at this. I mean, just watching the trailer. Can you imagine, like, floating your book and saying, like, all right, I got to study potions today?
My big concern here is if all of the cool things are just in this trailer and then you get into the game and it's bland and you don't want to explore the world at all. Or even if you do want to explore the world, but when you attempt to, the world is static and stale and it's just something you look at. It's not something you experience and live in. That's my concern. And I just don't know. Who's the developer of this?
Portkey Games.
Portkey Games. What else have they
A lot of mobile
done?
stuff.
Anything?
Mobile Harry Potter stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, so they're familiar with Harry Potter, but yeah, for instance, if Rockstar was doing this, I know for a fact, I'm going to be able to go all around in this world. It's going to be awesome. The world's going to be alive. Hookers. There's going to be
magical
hookers. Oh man, and bank heists.
Magical bank heists.
Magical bank heists.
Yeah, see, and so I'm just worried that what they're showing here is like 5 minutes out of 100-hour game.
What I want to know is how skewed the houses are going to be. So, like, it looks like you get to, we know you get to go to the Sword and Hat, and I assume you get to pick your own house. Like, I want to know what the least house, because everybody's gonna pick Gryffindor, right? Because it's like, oh yeah, and then you're gonna get those guys like, no, I'm gonna go Slytherin to be a rebel.
There's gonna be like bonuses, and
who do you think the least?
There'll be like traits.
Ravenclaw.
Like
no one wants Ravenclaw, right?
Oh, it's Hugglepuff.
Hufflepuff.
Well, you're gonna have some bookworms.
Hufflepuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't the Rock? The Rock Hufflepuff?
They should.
Do you remember
the Rock?
Yeah, no, I think the Rock is a Hufflepuff. No, I think
it's about family.
No, he really is. He really is. Yeah. I think I'm going to say it. I would like to see the statistics. They won't show them, but I think Ravenclaw might be the least. The least picked.
Was Ravenclaw's not talked about in the books as much as the other houses?
Where was Luna Lovegood? Was she Hufflepuff?
I don't know. She was a weird.
No one cared about her.
Yeah, she was just the weird kid.
But you kind of like the weird kid. You always got to have that.
Wait, didn't
weird
Luna Lovegood marry one of the Harry Potter people? She did.
Chat says Ravenclaw. I didn't even remember till we said it. Yeah.
You know what they should do is those Facebook stupid.
Luna was a Ravenclaw. Okay, my bad.
Like, which one are you? Or questionnaires that they do. They should make it when you start the game. Like, if you're looking at your door number 1, door number 2, door number 3, what do you choose?
Yeah, what do you think?
And like have this real like 50 question questionnaire.
And then
the magic hat.
Peter Peeklage says Luna was Ravenclaw, but she got that Hufflepuff energy.
Yeah, see, so she was missorted.
No, it might have been the case because remember when Harry puts on the hat, he gets to choose.
Yeah.
But you would be great in Slytherin or Gryffindor,
You would do great things in
do
Slytherin.
great things.
And he
Isn't
said,
Slytherin
please not
just-
Slytherin. Please
I
not
don't know.
Slytherin. Maybe I'll do a second
What great things
playthrough.
does Slytherin do? Besides,
mean,
like, terrorism.
Teaches teaches you how to fight. They're like fighters. They're like really talented. They're like some of the most talented magic people. They're not all bad.
Yeah, but they're...
Just because it's like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
they are.
Well, it's like everybody thinks like jocks are bullies. That's not the case. Jocks are just athletic.
Yeah.
And so
But
not all of them are
literally-
bullies.
Like,
But the ones that
literally
are
every
more
Slytherin is
athletic.
a bad guy.
It's the same with Slytherin. I don't know. I
Not
bet you, could
all
you imagine,
bad guys
like,
are Slytherin,
how
but all
evil-
bad guys
Yes.
are... No.
all Slytherin
Not
are
all
bad-
Slytherin are bad guys,
yeah.
but all bad guys are Slytherin.
Just happen to be Slytherin. There we go.
Yeah.
We figured it out. When I wanted to read Reactor League's chat, where he said they do weird things with the wands in the Rockstar version. Yes, yes, they
Can
would.
you imagine
Yes, they would.
Rockstar building this game like a Grand Theft Auto? Oh man.
So that's I think what we see looks awesome. It
No,
looks
I'm
like a
very
blast.
excited for this
But
game.
my concern is I just don't want it because that's a world that you want to explore and dive deep in and be a part of.
Well, I wonder how... So how
Avalanche.
open is it going to be? Because we know we can explore the castle, we can explore the forest area. You can see all this in the trailers, and I think they've mentioned it too. We can explore Hogsmeade, which I'm actually really personally excited for. I get your point, though. How alive is it going to feel? You know?
Yeah,
Because your game can live and die by the world.
Yeah, the world is so...
The world is a character of the game.
The world is just so rich in Harry Potter, and that's what everybody wants to experience, and there's like a wonder to it. And if that just doesn't translate, even if you have a really cool linear story, for instance, and like if you feels cool and the mechanics are cool, but it's this big world that doesn't translate with this feeling of wonderment. And see, that's what they're showing off here on these trailers.
The
They're
feeling of
showing this
wonderment.
like place that every kid would love to go to school at Hogwarts because look at what happens.
Yeah. Well, and on the flip side, I actually really like what they're doing with the time setting. It's so many years before. You're coming in as an older student. Since you're not tied to what happens after the books, I would love to see them doing like maybe you come across a secret magical dungeon in Hogsmeade and that takes you on. You know, I'd love to see that Rockstar style detail where you can go off the beaten path, or even like that Skyrim stuff where you can go off the beaten path for a while.
Yeah.
And still have an amazing adventure, right? And then come back to the main story.
Yeah, T-Bucks in chat makes a good point. He says, I haven't been as hyped for a game since Cyberpunk, and for that reason, I'm going in with low expectations.
Yeah,
It's been burned.
Wise
It's a
man.
good point. It's a good point.
Wise man.
It's been burned. We've all been burned.
We've all been burned multiple times.
Reactor Leak is asking how multiplayer is in this game. I don't know for sure, but I don't think there is multiplayer in this game.
If there is, it should be Quidditch.
They should. You guys remember that game, original Xbox, Quidditch World Cup? Great game. One of the best sports games I've played. They should bring that back as a like a game within the game.
Just go down to the park on Saturdays.
Yeah, and play
there's
Quidditch.
some Quidditch
I would
players
actually do
down
that. I think.
Quidditch is a weird game if you think about it, though.
It's flawed.
It's very flawed.
But so is soccer. Soccer is hyper flawed. Wanting to hear my flaw with soccer. And it's for the same reason, actually. Quidditch is, and that's why you can tell a British person made it up. Someone that like
Soccer.
thought about Quidditch because of soccer. Soccer is super flawed, and everybody, I love soccer, but it's flawed. And the reason that it's flawed is because of penalty kicks. Like, penalty kicks in the game is not flawed in and of themselves, but a game ending in a tie being settled by penalty kicks is the most flawed solution for any. It's not. You can be way overmatched, and your goal is just to play to a tie because once that gets to penalty kicks, it's even field.
You know what soccer needs? 2 people with clubs going around beating everybody.
Yeah, beaters.
Well, yeah, and this is the same thing.
Enforcers is what
And so
we
look-
call them in hockey.
So look, it's this point differential, right?
But there's still rules against the enforcers. Like in Quidditch, their job is to beat the shit out of everybody, right?
yeah,
and protect the start. They're literally enforcers.
they're beaters.
Yeah, they beat the other team and protect their.
Well, no, their job is to score.
No, those are the chasers. They use the quaffle. That's the ball that you throw
I
through the
wish
hoop.
everyone could listen. Every time Jordan says like the smart answer, He's got this flair where he bounces his head and flamboyantly waves his hands around to like he's done it like 5 times throughout the show.
He goes
Talking
like
about
this.
Lord of
He
the
goes like
Rings.
this. It's the quaffle.
Yes, it's like yeah.
No, there's the chasers.
Okay. But the reason that
There's 3 of them,
just like in
I think.
soccer, there's a scoring issue.
Okay.
That flaws the game, and we're gonna get hate mail from everybody.
Okay, all right.
Same in Quidditch. There is no reason that do you make the freaking ball? The ball. What's the little ball?
The golden snitch.
The golden snitch. And the quaffle. The golden snitch worth however many points it is. Like
150
Well, see, that's the problem with that thing too.
150
and it
points.
ends the game. So
Yeah.
games can go on forever.
You only need.
No. See, let me counter your argument.
What is Harry Potter's position? What is that?
He's the
position
seeker.
called? The seeker. You only need a great seeker. The other positions do not matter.
I know, but what if you had all the other positions looking for the snitch with him?
Yeah, just
Except
ignore
the goalie.
No. Check this out, because this is why they should bring back Quidditch World Cup. And
Is
no.
the seeker the other one that can catch the ball?
Seeker's the only one
Or
that can catch the ball. That's his priority,
or
right?
his-
So, but
the
no,
flying ball.
the seeker needs to know when to get. So, let's say you have 0 points. The other team scores 160 points. You catch the snitch, you get 150 points and lose.
But that never happens. That rarely happens.
I don't know if you've ever played Quidditch World Cup.
I don't know
but
if
I
you-
scored
He just
a
did
lot.
it again. He just did it again.
I would score just as a safety net. I would score 200 plus points in Quidditch World Cup. So then, if the other team caught the snitch, it didn't matter.
Fair.
See that swagger he pulls
Yeah,
out when
swagger.
he's right, when he thinks he's right.
No, it's they need to change the scoring in this game.
I'm
Quidditch.
not against changing the scoring, but it's not like
It's flawed.
super broken, you know.
Well, this game does take place in the 1800s.
Because the snitch is hard to find, so games can go on for hours.
Okay, maybe that's the problem.
How much could you
The snitch shouldn't end the game.
You think
I
there should be like halves and quarters?
I think that's the problem. Yeah, that it has too much. What do you like?
I'm laughing at chat. That was the weirdest flex I've ever seen when Jordan was talking about Harry Potter.
No, but so the snitch shouldn't end the seeker shouldn't be able to end the game by getting the snitch. I think that's what makes it flawed. Because if they didn't have that, it takes away, because already it's such a huge bonus for the seeker to get the snitch, but then the seeker also controls whether the game ends or not. Like, it's too much power. It's way unbalanced.
But that's why the seeker is an important position.
The most important position.
Well, you could say there's the most important position in most sports, though. You know,
But is there a position in any other sport that if they're successful, they end the entire game?
Quarterbacks.
yeah, quarterbacks.
No.
Well, I guess you need a receiver
There's
as
still
well.
there's still set time. It's 4 quarters.
Oh, yeah, okay, I see
Set
what-
time.
I get what you're saying.
He's important, and pitchers in the same way in that
Bowling.
they touch the ball every time.
The bowler has to be good. It's all dependent on that
Yeah,
bowler.
but even there's still 9 rounds.
Tennis.
Again, it's so many rounds you have to win, and then you got to win by 2. Like there's no sport where
Fishing.
a player.
Fishing is considered a
Fishing.
sport.
Yeah. You can end it right then and there, David.
All right,
Maybe she thought of
win.
Quidditch while fishing.
you win.
Yeah, I found a sport. That is considered a sport too.
You're right. It's fishing.
Do you guys want to start like a group where we go play Quidditch at the park? I think that would be fun.
Do we have to dress up like we're going to a Shakespearean fair or something?
No, well, it's like those. David showed me this group of guys that started their own wiffle ball league on YouTube, and it's awesome.
They're huge, dude.
It's so great.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Wiffle ball. What is
It's
wiffle
so
ball?
people watch their seasons. It's just these kids in their backyard playing, and they have seasons, and they have teams.
It's awesome.
I've been watching a lot of Risk Championships.
Hey,
So-
I saw those too. The board game.
Wait, on the OG board or a updated
no, it's
board?
the ones I watch are on the computer.
Yeah, there's a PC game that's
Yeah,
out.
that has the updated board.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you update Risk, 1,000 times better. Because the board game is flawed. Again, flawed. You need to get it's too unbalanced. It's my problem with Axis and Allies. One of my favorite board games of all time.
That game's intense though.
Yeah,
Risk Legacy.
that's
Is
a
it
full
Risk Legacy that
Saturday.
you're watching? So the old Risk that was on 360 had all these different versions, and then there was a Risk recently on the Xbox One that only had the one version of Risk that you could play. But if you update it, it's so good.
Yeah. Well, you should watch some of the championships. It's really, really good.
Okay.
I'll send you some stuff.
All right, that's us on Hogwarts. It's delayed. We're excited for it. We'll see how it comes out.
This next one.
MultiVersus. Yeah, Jordan, you've been playing this game.
No, okay, MultiVersus.
MultiVersus.
So season 1 launches August 15th. Right now they're in like preseason. It's a free-to-play game. If you like Super Smash Brothers, you will like this game. Basically, this game can be described as Super Smash Brothers with WB characters. It's super familiar for Super Smash Brothers players, like even down to the control schemes. The fighting feels good and responsive. It's really fun. It's incredibly fun. I wouldn't say it's just a clone because they have their own flair on stuff, but it's a really good beat 'em up game, and I hope they keep with it, and I hope it's successful. I think they already have like 30 million registered. Like they got huge numbers, but
wow. Well,
it is an awesome
what are some
game.
of the who are some of the characters you say?
So you got Shaggy. Me and my kids spent the whole day unlocking Bugs Bunny. You got Batman, Superman.
Wow.
You got Adventure Time. One of the levels. Serious here, being very serious. So one of the levels you fight on is the big heads from Rick and Morty.
Wow.
And I'm waiting for them to like start singing "Get Swifty," but I don't think they can because it's kind of a family game, you know.
It has a very Fortnite art aesthetic to it.
Yeah, Steven Universe, just all. I'm waiting for him to add Harry Potter.
Even look at the UI. That's very Fortnite aesthetic.
Yeah. I'm waiting for him to add Harry Potter. It's a full free-to-play game. You can buy Founders Packs that help you unlock characters. If you're really into the game, I would suggest getting a Founders Pack because it does...
Did you get a Founders Pack?
I did. Yeah. Because we spent the whole day unlocking Bugs Bunny.
the Tasmanian
and it
devil.
was just...
Yeah.
But they do this cool thing where you...
He was like the Pikachu of the WV universe. But instead of lightning, he turns into a tornado.
They do this thing where you can level up your character, and I think it's all the way up to level 15. You get these passive abilities that you can add to your loadout.
I don't like this level. This
is like the practice level.
Oh, okay. That's why I don't like
skip.
it.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah.
But no, you can level up your character, and it gives your characters like passive abilities, like that they can do within the game. Now, some people may think like, oh, that's unfair. What if you get a high level character facing a low level character? I think they're probably, obviously the person that has the high level character has a percentage advantage, but I don't think it's so big that you would notice. If you were just good at the game and knew the controls and knew how to dodge and block at the proper times, you would still win. Like I think
just
they've
like
done
Tarkov.
Yeah.
This is smart.
I think they have done an excellent job with this game, with the grind of unlocking character. Well, not unlocking characters because it is quite a grind, but the grind of like leveling up your characters, getting new abilities. They have all the skins you can do. It's for a free to play game, really good, and I'm not upset with the monetization because it's all like skins, different banners for your profile and stuff like that.
Wow.
Very cool game. Very cool game.
Yes, I like it.
Wait, who makes this
Adventure
game?
Time. WB.
Well, not WB. I think it's Player First Games is the name of the company that makes it.
Oh, but WB owns it. That's why it's all
it's all
property.
WB. So again, I'm waiting for Harry Potter to come in as a downloadable character. I mean,
Oh my gosh,
they
look at the
literally have
Batman
the
skin, too.
Look at that
Batman
aesthetic.
is awesome.
They must have a designer. They must got the designer from Fortnite because that aesthetic. This is Fortnite aesthetic. Everything. Look at.
This looks.
It looks good.
Wonder
This looks
Woman's in there.
phenomenal.
Well done. Well done. Highly recommend.
How long has this game been available?
A few
months?
weeks.
Oh.
Was it a few months? I started playing a couple weeks ago because I think I was scrolling through Twitter and just heard a bunch of people like, oh my gosh, MultiVersus is actually good. So I was like, I'll give it a try. And I played with my kids all day. It is really fun.
Sick, as the kids say. Wait,
And
I want to
they
see
got
Tasmanian Devil's moves here. Let's see.
And they got a Rick and Morty level.
That's actually pretty awesome.
I didn't know WB owned Rick and Morty.
We're on Wonder Woman's island. I think,
that's
right
Wonder
now?
Woman's island. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see Tasmanian Devil. So far, I just see him jumping around. Like, what's his power here?
He
something-
dodged.
Do something special, bro.
Did you ever watch the cartoon growing up? The Tasmanian
There he is. He
Devil?
just did it. Oh, very cool. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's so good.
Where his mom and dad are always like, have your glass of orange juice.
And he's always like,
It's nice to have a glass of orange juice.
oh, that's
No, but excellent game. If you are even just somewhat of a fan of Super Smash Brothers, you'll kind of get into this game and feel right at home. I like it a lot.
That's cool. We got a couple questions. Let's just take two out of all these questions. Toxic writes in and says, probably been asked this, and they're kind of related actually. Kind of been asked this, but what Assassin's Creed game is your favorite? Jordan the Man, let's start with you. -2. already say it. Mine is 2.
I think mine is 2 as well because
Yours is 2.
mine is 2. And I think because what they did from 1 to 2, like it felt like a full upgrade to the first game. You got a new character, Ezio, which I know a lot of people didn't like at first, but ended up being a really cool character. I thought it was cool the whole time.
That swagger again. Did you see it?
I thought it was cool the whole time.
No, actually, no. You could probably go catchy because I didn't like him at first, but as like Assassin's Creed, like his trilogy went on, I liked him more and more. The reason I didn't like him at first is because he was like this playboy punk kid.
It was a little too Don Juan for you.
Yeah, and then you're coming from like Altair to like this, and you're like, what? So I actually, to be honest, I didn't like him at first, but I grew to love him. Anyway, I remember when they announced Assassin's Creed 2 and they did the dual hidden blade assassinations on stage. I thought that was the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That is cool.
Assassin's Creed 2, I think, is one of the best.
Yeah, Spicy, how about you?
I think I'm going to have to say, I believe this is the right one. Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
I think, and the reason I liked Odyssey, although I did like 2 as well. I also was 3 the first one where they introduced PvP, because I thought the first introduction of PvP I really enjoyed.
I think it was
3.
It was 3, but 3 was called, I think,
Revelation?
Brotherhood, yeah.
And then Revelations, I believe, was after
next
that.
one?
I really, really liked
That multiplayer
that
was really
PvP
cool. Yeah.
style, yeah. Because it was so different at
It was.
the time.
It was hide and
unique.
seek. It was hide
At
and
the
seek.
time, it was. I think it was Call of Duty 4 was like Modern Warfare 2 was the big game at the time. Kind of give you an idea of where we were in the world. So there was a lot. It was unique at the time, and I really, really liked that calm PvP. It was like strategy, slow paced PvP.
Patience. It took patience.
It's not like Total War at all, but in a way it is with the patience level you needed
Sure.
to win in the multiplayer. But
Sure.
I would have to say Odyssey, just because of the nonchalant attitude that the main character had throughout the entirety of the game,
of murdering people.
and how no one cared.
Murdering people.
And you could play the game however you wanted to play it, and it was extremely fun and enjoyable. I liked the skill tree. I liked how you could weaken different states to make it easier to conquer and everything.
Yeah.
I think Odyssey, probably because that guy is my favorite character.
And no one cared about death in that game, right? Like
Yeah.
everybody was like, he killed him.
No, you killed that guy? He probably deserved it. You straight up
fairness-
murdered him.
In fairness, death was super normal
In
for
those
people.
times. Yeah.
Like
Well, and even the tough guys, you could just climb up to a roof and then Fuzro dog kick them off, boom, and just destroy anybody. I think that game was just fun, and I
Yeah.
think when they made that game, fun was the forefront of the game. It wasn't
anything else.
anything else. And honestly, Assassin's Creed, the storyline at the beginning, 1, 2, and I think 3. Was when the storyline was in its prime. After that, it kind of went downhill a little bit.
After the Ezio trilogy finished, it was kind of,
And I think in Odyssey, they realized that. The previous ones, they were kind of beating that storyline to it was
That
like
formula,
a dead horse.
yeah.
But in Odyssey, you could skip all the interim parts of the story,
Yeah.
which was really nice because then you could just play.
Great question. Toxic. Thank you very much for writing in. Let's take one last question here. We'll take it from Styx Remix. He says, do you think the open world formula for gaming has gotten stale? Imagine that Ubisoft hires the XoneBros to spice up open world style games like Assassin's Creed, huh? Or Far Cry. What is the one thing you change or new element mechanic you add to breathe new life into it? So first question, let's break this down into two. Do you think the open world formula for gaming has gotten stale? I will answer and I will say yes. And I don't think stale is actually the right word for it. Because I think if you had not played an open world game ever and you jumped into whatever the latest open world game is, Cyberpunk, let's say, or Rocks, Red Dead Redemption, or any game that's open world, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, you would love it because their mechanics are fantastic. They're at the best they've ever been. So I wouldn't call them stale. I would call them overwhelming. And I think that gaming, open world games have become work. And you have to dedicate with a linear game, I can sit down and I can play for 1 hour. I can play for 30 minutes and I can progress in that 1 hour or 30 minutes or however much time I have pretty decently or at least I'm given the feeling that I progress. In an open world game, that does not exist. In an open world game, you have to dedicate 5-hour chunks in order to progress in the world, and that's exhaustive. And I think that is a current issue. It's great if you have 5 hours. It's great if you're a kid and a teenager, but for adults now, like, I don't have 5-hour chunks to even start to get into a game. And then if I don't do it that way and I don't remember what's happening and I got to go back and then I jump in and I only have an hour to jump in, it's like, well, it's not even worth playing. I don't have enough time to play it. I'm going to play something else.
Yeah. Well, I think even in chat, B-Boy Will makes a good point. I stopped playing Valhalla because it felt like a job. Same with me. But what's interesting is I think it's the game you play. So I don't really know the answer to the question. Are they stale? Yes and no at the same time, because I think it's depends on the game you're playing. Valhalla felt like a job because they kept introducing all these collectibles I needed to get. On the flip side, Elden Ring, one of the best open world games I've ever played. Did they have collectibles and stuff that could go off on the beaten path? Yes, but I think the way they presented it to me was much more effective and much better.
Spicy.
I think the reason this question even exists is because we haven't had a Grand Theft Auto in 10 years.
Or a Skyrim.
Yeah. I mean, Rockstar, I'm waiting for Grand Theft Auto 6. Every time they come out with a Grand Theft Auto, it changes everything. So that's why everything feels stale, is because Rockstar hasn't produced their most recent iteration of Grand Theft Auto. You could say, well, they did Red Dead, but I would say Red Dead's a very different game.
It is. Yeah, it is.
But even then, did that open world feel stale to you?
So Rockstar does open worlds the best, or they're one of the ones that do it the best. And while it's not stale, I think my analysis that it's work is accurate to Red Dead. It is overwhelming. Like, yes, that's a benefit, and yes, that's like this immersive aspect to it. But at the same time, you need to balance immersion and that desire to be in the world for so long with an ability as well to be able to jump in for 20 minutes and have an effect in the world and experience it. And so many games don't. Valhalla's one. Valhalla, I could not jump in for. I mean, hell, it took me 5 hours to get through the tutorial. I could not jump in.
That's why you were so mad at that.
I could not just.
You were seeing me and Jordan have fun, and you were stuck in Iceland or wherever you were.
And I could just not do it. And so many games have done that where they just they're giving you so much that you can't play the game. You actually can't. They say that you can play the game however you want. Well, you actually can't. Like, it's impossible, in my opinion, to get into some of these major open world games without dedicating large chunks of time to them. And then
going back to what B-Boy said with it feeling like a job, to get in Elder Scrolls, in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, to get all the endings, you have to 100% a lot of stuff, which gives you that feeling of, this is a job, it's tedious, it's bothersome. Yeah, you know what I mean? But see, that's why I go back, Elden Ring. I think it's the way it's presented. There was a lot of stuff you could do in that open world, but the way it was presented to you is, here you go, here's the open world, you don't know what's out there, and we're not going to tell you. And that's a game, I think that's a game where I think you could jump in for 20 minutes, feel like you've progressed.
Wait, what game?
Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah.
And not feel overwhelmed with the world.
And
I think it's because of how they present things.
And it's not just how they present, but their ethos of the game is it takes you learn something new in order to beat this bad guy. So they basically have a linear model overlaid on top of an open world.
Well, and there was stuff we were discovering, like, I didn't know until 2 or 3 weeks in that you didn't have to fight that first boss.
Oh, you just go to the right.
Yeah, apparently there's a path right there.
I think to beat the game, you only need to beat 2 bosses.
Yeah, you can let's not do the speed runs that are 8 seconds where they're bouncing through walls, but you could speed run the game very quickly because the game's not forcing you to play a certain way, with the exception of you do have to fight 1 or 2 bosses that unlock,
Even Red Dead Redemption 2 that I really enjoy has this starter zone, essentially, where they're setting up the story that is very overwhelming. You want to get out and explore the world. I would argue the difference between Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Redemption 1, which I do think Red Dead Redemption 1 is overall a better game, even though I consider Red Dead Redemption 2 the greatest open world created. Red Dead Redemption 1, if you remember back, just throws you straight into the game, straight into this world that you can basically go off in any direction. Same as Skyrim does that. Skyrim doesn't waste time trapping you. Elden Ring. Elden Ring has that short cave that you go through, and
you can choose to skip that.
Yeah, and once you're out, and then you're in the world. They're not roadblocking you with tasks that require. I don't know. I don't know because I don't know how these worlds are designed. All I know is how I feel when I play them, and how I feel when I play them is anxious, and overwhelmed.
You remember how enjoyable your life was when you played Grand Theft Auto 5?
Yeah.
And you're not overwhelmed in that game because you can. I don't know. I just think Rockstar with their Grand Theft Autos they set the standard for what open world should be every time they come out with one.
Well, and you notice all the games we're talking about tend to be Ubisoft games. I think their
ones that are making us like anxious.
Yeah, I think their formula, I would argue, is stale. For example, I played Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It started to feel like a job for me, right? So I was like, I'm going to get out of here. But I wanted to play Phoenix Rising, another Ubisoft game. Yeah. It looked cool. It looked fun. I liked the setting. I liked the art style. Yeah. I jump in. Within 2 hours, I felt the exact same way because it's the exact same systems just painted onto something else.
That's a very good point. When you think about this, you think about a Far Cry and Assassin's Creed, you're getting a game every year or every other year in those series. Then think of a true great open world game like a Rockstar, right? I mean, a world class, top tier, like a Grand Theft Auto or a Skyrim. It's a decade that it takes to develop that open world game, and so I think there's a little bit. I think you're right, Jordan. I think maybe it's Ubisoft's version of open worlds. Here's another example: Zelda's open world. It was great. It's great. And look, that game was under development for quite a while. It's not a series that is releasing every year. So maybe we're not burnt out of open world games, or they've not gone stale or overwhelming or whatever adjective you want to insert there. Maybe it's that a yearly release or a bi-yearly release of an open world game has gotten stale.
And then multiple games in the same year, because I think we got Phoenix. I think we had Assassin's Creed towards the end of the year, and then that following year we got Phoenix and Far Cry. Anyway, I think it was a while back. I believe I was talking to Ronan in our Discord, and I told him my dilemma, and I think it was him that said he's got to pace his Ubisoft games, or you can't play them all the way. And I think that's what happened to me because I just.
It's interesting. T-Bucks in chat says, Far Cry is definitely repetitive, but you can do so much stupid stuff. It's fun the whole time. Far Cry is the better. So Far Cry is the sandbox version of
their other games.
Their open world games, yeah. Where you would just blow shit up for fun. It's the Expendables.
Yeah. It's the Expendables. But it's still repetitive. I'll be real with that one. Yeah. That one still gets... That one's... I mean... They have like 4 mission types.
Yeah.
Throughout the 150 hours you play that game.
The game makes you feel... I'm going to compare it to Elden Ring again. When playing Assassin's Creed or Phoenix Rising or even Far Cry, the game makes you feel that you have to do all of this stuff around the map to make a difference in the linear gameplay, in the storyline, to get, to be more powerful. Let's just say more powerful. Elden Ring doesn't do that to me. I don't feel like in Elden Ring I have to go down to Caelid to get more powerful. I feel like I want to go down there because I want to explore, So
Great question, Styx Remix. Thank you very much for writing it.
Just cut him off.
No, I was done.
Yeah, great question. Yeah,
thank you very much for writing. I think that's a good question, an interesting one for sure. That actually does us for today's show, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in and hanging out. We'll be back next week, and enjoy yourself. Have a good weekend.
Minecraft server is there.
Minecraft server again over on Discord. We've got forums over on Discord. Discord is hot and happening. And
I got to choose between Minecraft and MultiVersus now. I'm definitely downloading that.
I know Jordan was like, "Hey, I want to challenge you in this game. Come play me." And I was like, "Meh."
That looks super,
but it looks good. Have a good week, everybody. We'll see you next time.